How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here with Brent Barnett from Gibraltar. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Nick.
Good to see you here.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Today we're going to sit around this beautiful Yamaha hybrid custom oak drum kit with its cymbal stands, but we're going to turn it into a custom shop makeover with a rack.
Yes.
Because that's what Gibraltar makes, great racks.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get started. So, send us through the process. What are we going to be doing?
Okay, so I wanted to say that you guys got a beautiful drum kit here.
Okay.
I love Yamaha. That was one of the first drum kits I ever played on.
Nice.
I see you have two crashes over here, crash on your right-hand side, four-tom side, ride cymbal, china, and hi-hats. With using cymbal stands, there's a lot of tripods that you conflict with on the floor.
Sure.
And it can be a little bit of a lengthy process for setup and teardown because you have to position everything correctly, get it comfortable for you. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this drum kit, we're going to have everything, keep it in the same place, but we're going to add a couple side racks to it.
Okay.
And show you how you can convert this drum set into a rack setup, like in one of our new Stealth V-Rack setups.
Okay.
And show you how it works with removing all the clutter on the floor, creates a small footprint, and adds a really unique design to your setup.
Yeah, the Stealth racks look really cool. Racks look cool in general, I think, and it also, it's easier for transport in a lot of ways. When you're in a band with a lot of people on stage, you got to kind of get more compact. At least everything is set up in the same spot every time. Cymbal stands are cool. Gibraltar makes a lot of great cymbal stands.
Yeah.
And but you're right. When you set up every time, you're always tweaking it a little bit every time. The memory locks don't always stay in place because you're moving, especially if you're a gigging guy and you're playing every weekend. You're setting up and tearing down your stuff all the time.
Right.
So you have to undo all the memory locks. At least with a rack, it seems like stuff stays in place, in the right place where you want it to be more. Am I correct about that?
Oh, completely,
Yeah.
completely. So basically, all the clamps are memory locked.
Right.
So really all you're doing is just putting your booms right into the spot where the memory lock is on the shaft of the cymbal arm. Right. And you're set up and ready to go. As long as the footprint of your rack is in the same spot every single time, your drums and your cymbals and accessories are all going to be exactly the same way.
Very cool. And what about the weight of the racks compared to cymbal stands? Because these Yamaha stands in particular, all of the tripod cymbal stands are different weight, but the Yamaha ones are great, but they're pretty heavy.
Right.
So what about the weight of a rack, especially like the small one we're going to build today?
So when you're dealing with weight, especially I deal with a lot of artists, Gibraltar artists, and they have a lot of cymbals.
Right.
So when you're touring and or you're just playing out a lot, some guys like to play really heavy duty hardware.
Sure.
And one of the Gibraltar extremely heavy duty hardware stands weighs about 13 pounds. So if you take a rack clamp, those weigh they weigh under a pound. So, a boom arm probably weighs, 2 or 3 pounds.
Right.
So you're cutting down the weight of a rack, of a cymbal stand by 10 pounds at least.
Right.
But then, you've got the bars, which don't weigh very much at all.
Right.
Setup time is basically, with these small racks, you can, if you have a big enough car like an SUV, you don't even have to take them apart. You can just leave them together, put them in the truck, and then you're done.
Right.
Otherwise, they fit in a small hardware bag.
That's cool. All right, so let's get started.
Awesome.
What's the first step?
So let's bring out the side racks.
Okay.
All right.
All right, check it out. The rack is built. That was really easy too.
Yeah, it's very simple.
That took no time at all.
I know.
And it looks cool.
It definitely adds a lot of uniqueness to your setup for sure.
Because racks in the old days, and they still have them today as well. The typical bar over the kick drum, that kind of thing, with the two legs and coming out the side. That works for a ton of different things. But now with these sort of stealth racks, the low boy racks, where the things are down low, it gives it a hipness that I think is really neat.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
The bar over the bass drum, that's been around for a long time.
Right.
It's great. It's got a great function, and you can also trick it out to make it look really cool.
Right.
What's really cool about these stealth racks is that they take the focus off of the rack and put the focus on your drum kit because it showcases your drum kit more.
All right, well, tell us what we did.
All right, so what I chose to do for this rack was use the GSS-VR, which is the side Stealth V-Rack mounting system.
Okay.
So it's a low-profile V-Rack that's 33 inches long using our short V-bar, and the legs are 18.5 inches tall. So it offers you the ability to keep that really compact footprint, but still keep all of your gear in the exact place that you need it.
Yeah, and everything is right where everything was with the tripod stands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to take you less time to set it up and tear it down.
I could see that easily, yeah.
So I'll give you a walkthrough at kind of what I did for your kit.
Okay.
And let you know the parts that I used.
All right.
So the full unit is the GSSVR, and it comes with just the frame of the rack. There's no clamps on it except for the mounting, the connecting clamps. Then we have our legless hi-hat stand, which is the 9707 NL DP. Now this removed all the tripod that you had on the Yamaha stand, which is great because now there's no legs on the floor. To connect it to the rack, what I used was the extension arm with rotating grabber clamp, which is an SCEA 100. So it allows you to connect things remotely from the rack, and it allows you to get multiple angles on it. Moving over to your secondary left main crash, we used a short boom arm. So we wanted to look clean, we wanted to look precise. We didn't want a lot of extra boom coming off. So I used the SC SBBT. But because the rack is so low, we needed something to get us additional height. So you don't always want to have to go out and purchase another cymbal arm that's super long that could cost up to $90 to $100 just so you can play a low profile rack. So what I put on here was the SC78 ASE, which is a 7/8 inch accessory shaft extender. So what this does is it allows you to get 18 additional inches of height, and you can use your own boom arms that you already have because it works with most boom arms that are all 7/8 inch.
Okay.
So it allows you to keep that bar super low but still get your cymbals at the playable height. And then moving over to the rack toms, what I did was I just kept your mount. I used the Yamaha tri-mount and used the 7/8 inch adapter that comes with the rack for each one of the adapters that goes on the vertical legs. And then I mounted the boom arm directly right out of the third cymbal arm, cymbal arm mount. So now you've basically used part of your stuff. You didn't have to go out and get anything additional. Right. And we're able to create a really cool and unique side rack. But for people that don't have the Yamaha kit, maybe they're playing a DW, maybe they're playing a Tama, they still want to mount their toms offset like this out of one leg, then something like this is really cool. The SCPM, it's a platform mount, still does the exact same thing that the Yamaha tri-mount does, so they can mount two toms and a cymbal, or they can mount 3 cymbals out of here if they want. Right. So it's really cool.
I have to interrupt you really quick for 1 second. Okay. You've been at this job for a long time.
Yes.
How long did it take you to memorize all of those part numbers? Because you just rattle them off like it's nothing.
Probably 6 months. 6 months. It was. I'll tell you a funny story real quick. It won't take too long.
Go.
So my wife and I, when I just started there, I woke up one morning and she goes, "You were dreaming about building a rack, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah. How did you know?" She goes, "You were reciting the model numbers in your sleep."
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, okay.
I mean, you're in deep now. All right, moving on. I thought I'd ask. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're all acronyms. It sounds crazy, MOUSE, whatever.
Right.
But as soon as you understand the logic behind it, it makes sense.
It makes sense. One of the coolest pieces about the whole rack here on this side of the kit is how you're mounting the snare drum, I think.
Yes.
Because if you could tell, you'll see it in the camera shot, the bar that's coming from the rack leg is curved to go underneath the double pedal link.
Yes.
And that's just really cool. And then you take away the tripod of the snare stand. It has a universal ball joint underneath the snare here, so the snare can go any angle you want. Really cool piece of gear down there.
Yeah, this is our Stealth bent bar, and it comes on our Stealth Rack, which is the vertical mounting system. And it's designed to combine basically your rack tom, your snare, and cymbal all into one unit with no tripods. Right. And that little bend is there, that quirky bend, so that you can go either over or under the double pedal connector arm.
Yeah, so this whole side of the kit is its own piece.
Yes.
You can, if you're strong enough, you can lift the whole thing and just walk away.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so what do we got going on this side?
So on this side, I just basically duplicated the rack on this side, and I used a lot of the same components to create this one. So out of the front leg of this rack, I used the long boom arm, the long version of that one, the SC LBBT, to mount the ride cymbal, and mount it right out of the front leg. Then we come over to your right main crash, and I had to use the accessory shaft extender again to get the cymbal exactly the same height that I needed it, right? Otherwise, we're going to be playing way down here, and that's no good. Right. Used a SC GCS MC multi-clamp. You're tripping me out here because now I'm cracking up on my model numbers. Yeah, it's all good. It's good. I'm a Gibraltar geek.
Hey man, you are the pro at this stuff. That's why you're the pro.
So moving on to the China, I just used the short boom arm because we didn't want a lot of extra boom arm on the end. And I used another shaft extender out of the back leg so we could get exactly the height that you wanted it at.
You know, and also I'm sure you can tell out there when you're looking at the shot, there's a lot more room on the bar down below to add more stuff if you want.
Oh, absolutely.
So you can add additional cymbals or whatever you want to the kit, even with this small footprint.
That's the beautiful thing about using a rack, is that the ability to expand is almost infinite, because you can just, Gibraltar's a custom shop, you know, so you can pick and piece together all the parts that you need to make your dream rig. You know, you can make it as big and elaborate as you want, or you can make it as small and lean and mean as you want.
One last thing I want to talk about that you put here on the kick drum, which is a cool little accessory piece, is the stick holder.
Yeah, the little stick caddy?
The stick caddy is really cool. So, you know, we were talking about this right before we were filming this. A lot of time you'll see guys or gals playing their kit at a gig, and they'll have their brushes, dowel sticks, another pair of drumsticks sitting on the kick drum. Right. As you play, it vibrates, moves around. It could mess up the finish of your drum.
Yeah, it damages
and you've
the
even
finish.
seen that happen.
Yes.
So you guys, the guys at Gibraltar came up with this cool little stick caddy. Sticks are right here. Just pop it out, pull another stick, and you're ready to rock.
Yeah, it mounts right to the bass drum hoop.
And then there's no vibration or make another sound or any of that kind of stuff rattling going on your kick drum.
Right, because it just locks it right in place.
Really cool.
Oh, I gotta tell you about a couple other things I added to your kit.
Oh,
I thought you needed a perk table.
I did need a perk table.
You needed a perk table.
I did.
Because I know you may have some in-ears or something, that you've got a little mixer or something right there.
Yeah.
Maybe put your phone, your wallet, keep an eye on that one.
Okay.
And then I also added a drink holder. Because you gotta stay hydrated.
You do. Drummers need to stay hydrated. We're working out here, we're sweating. Yeah, that's great. All these little pieces and extra pieces of gear just make a drummer's life a little bit easier.
It's all about convenience, man. It's all about convenience.
Very cool. So Brett, now anybody can do this to their drum kit, right? Doesn't matter what brand of drums you play.
Absolutely.
You can rack up whatever you want, and we have all of this gear here at Sweetwater, don't we?
Yes.
So you can call your Sweetwater sales engineer and say, I want to get this piece, that piece, the little drink holder, the stick caddy, the table, the bent arms for the rack, whatever you need. We have it here at Sweetwater.
Absolutely. You know, Nick, so not everybody sets up the same way.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of similar type setups, but everybody has their own specific way they like to do their thing. And Sweetwater offers a lot, if not most all of the Gibraltar components that they can tweak out their kit and customize it the way they want.
So yeah, you want to rack up your gear, get rid of the tripods, get a stealthy looking kit, go crazy with bars all over the place and play your cymbals up high. You can do any of that stuff with a Gibraltar rack.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm just going to mention it here since we're talking Gibraltar. Gibraltar makes a lot of great regular hardware. Great tripod stands, killer pedals, hi-hat stands, snare stands, all the regular hardware you can get in Gibraltar as well.
Absolutely.
So you can outfit your kit really any way you want.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, before we close out the video, I want to mention that you have your own site where you make over all kinds of people's kits. You can see kits turned into all kinds of different scenarios, and big and small and everywhere in between. Why don't you mention to the people what your site is?
Yeah, so the Gibraltar YouTube channel, we basically created a YouTube channel to where drummers can come to when they have questions about how they want to set up their rig. They don't know how certain things work. And I demonstrate this on our YouTube channel with we got a ton of video content, whether we're talking about small accessories or huge custom makeovers for artists, for consumers, or whatever it may be. We show how all the parts work together so that, you know, it's not so scary, because building a rack can be very intimidating if you're not that familiar with the parts.
Right.
Because you look at it, you're like, okay, so there's 30 different types of clamps, there's 20 different types of bars. I don't even know what I need to do to start.
Right.
So this channel gives you the information that you need to know so you can feel confident in designing your own rig and setting up your own rig.
Right. All right, Brett, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Nick.
Shooting this video with us. It's really cool to see how you can turn a kit into something else that is really neat.
It was a blast, man.
It was a total blast. So let's do this again sometime.
Absolutely.
If you want any information about any of these Gibraltar products, you want to learn how to build your own rack, just talk to your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody.